Britney was placed under her conservatorship back in 2008, is when she was checked into psychiatric care after going through a pretty brutal time in her life. She was in the middle of a custody battle for her children. Her marriage just disappeared, and she was very much in the public eye because of the whole shaving her head situation and the attacks against the paparazzi and so on. So she was placed into this conservatorship to, I guess, try look out for her while she was battling some pretty serious issues.
And now that's a long time ago, so this is so many years later. How controlled is her day-to-day life now?
Yeah, 13 years ago, it's wild. But the amount of detail that the conservatorship has is really quite immense. Like, it goes down to her career, like where she tours, what she plays, what she releases, what she spends her money on, who she hangs out with, if she's allowed to be seen in public with X person, her children, whoever, right down. I think there was a case that came up today about what color her kitchen cabinets are meant to be. Like, they said she wasn't allowed a certain color when she was renovating her kitchen because it was a bad financial decision or something of that ilk.
So very controlling. And what about her financials? I mean, who decides how much money she gets? And it's her money after all.
Yeah, exactly. As you can probably guess, Britney Spears has a pretty big estate, being one of the most popular pop stars on the planet. And that was always in the hands of her dad. So in the New York Times piece that came out today, it was revealed that she got a weekly allowance of $2,000, or 2,000 USD, that is. But her dad, to govern her conservatorship, got a weekly income of 18,000 USD. And she had no control over what she was spending money on. She had no access to her cards or anything like that. So it was, yeah, pretty intense.
Pretty tough. So she's going to be arguing on her behalf. What are people expecting her to put forward?
Well, people are expecting her to put forward her, I guess, frustration on the issue. But the biggest thing about her speaking is that it's actually the first time she's directly talked about it in 13 years. In the past, Britney's point of view has always come from either statements from her team, which, you don't know whether they're coming from her or on behalf of her in the favor of the conservatorship, or they've come from, more recently, her lawyer. But this is the very first time she's speaking up herself. So we're expecting a bit more detail on how she feels personally and what she's been through over the last 13 years.
Hayden, how much of a role has the Free Britney movement played in all of this getting to this stage, do you think?
Yeah, the Free Britney movement's an interesting one. Britney has no control or access to her social media, or at least it's believed. So it's not so much about her seen directly, but I think the Free Britney movement has really done a great job in, I guess, making it a bit of a public issue, or making it something that the public's aware of. And in that, more people are reporting on it, more people are talking about it, and that's bringing more pressure to, I guess, the court and the justice system to kind of at least reconsider the terms of the conservatorship and try make it a little more flexible, if not remove it completely.
And this issue has really almost become bigger than Britney herself, and it goes to the broader issue of conservator abuse.
Yeah, definitely. I think conservatorships, they've most commonly found when it comes to the elderly or the gravely ill to try, I guess, look after them and help make decisions on behalf of them. And you don't really know, I guess, the ins and outs of what people are doing with that control unless it's such a public and well-recognized case like Britney. So maybe there'll be some bigger changes as a part of it. We'll see.
And you talk about social media. Some people have argued, well, if she was under a lot of duress and she wanted greater freedom, she could have argued that in the social media space and got a lot of traction. But do we know if she's tried to do that, or, as you point out, is she even in control of her social media?
Yeah, so a lot of Britney Spears fans have the assumption that she doesn't have any control whatsoever over her social media. And I personally believe that to be true as well. There's been a bit of a conspiracy around that people would comment on her videos being like, 12 three times in the next video if you need help, and then she would do it. But it's really quite unknown whether that's a coincidence or whether it's a thing actually happening, because like the conservatorship is such a quiet topic that no one really knows how much access she has, or what she sees.
And of course, her father was not a key figure in her life before this conservatorship was granted. So that in itself is quite intriguing.
Yeah, it is. Fans of Britney would know or wouldn't know her father really, because he wasn't a prevalent figure in her life, sorry. It was always her mother. And then when the conservatorship happened, he became the main figure involved with that. And she has been very vocal in the past about his alleged alcoholism and disrespect towards her and her career. So I think that is the central problem. And if the conservatorship isn't removed completely with the case that's going on now, I think that Britney's fans are really just hoping that he is removed from it.
In total. Good to talk, Hayden. We'll watch with interest. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.